Former US President Donald Trump was out of control today in court, according to the New York judge overseeing his civil fraud case. Prosecutors are seeking a $250 million fine and severe business restrictions on Trump and his family after the judge already ruled that they'd committed fraud. Trump calls it an attempt at election interference. The Republican presidential frontrunner used his time on the stand today to accuse the judge of ruling against him before knowing anything about him. He added, "It's a terrible thing you've done. You believed that political hack back there." And Trump was referring to the Attorney General. At one point, Trump's lawyer was asked to control his client and explain the rules, as this is not a political rally, it's a courtroom. I'm joined now by former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Sean, thank you so much for your time today. What was in Trump's mind? Why did he take this aggressive approach in the courtroom?
I think this is a very personal case to the president. It's about his brand. It's about his ability to pass down the business to his family, his adult children. And so the attacks on his brand and on his person are something that are very unique and something that he protects dearly.
Is this just another political witch hunt against Trump, or is there merit to this case that he's overinflated his wealth and financial assets?
Well, there's three things that I think have to get brought up in this. Number one, the government's already shown that it really isn't serious about this. It valued Mar-a-Lago at $18 million. I think anybody would take that deal in a heartbeat. It's not even, I mean, it's a multiple of that, and that's an objective standard. I mean, just going on the internet and searching, you would find a multitude of that. So they didn't do that good of a job either. Number two, in this particular case, you have to wonder, why are they going after this years later? There's so much crime going around New York State, New York City. This is what they're choosing to go after, a guy who did this years ago. It doesn't make sense if it's not politically motivated. And third, I mean, the Attorney General literally campaigned on going after Donald Trump. And so we're seeing the weaponization of a political of the judicial system. There's no victim here, right? So normally you would find someone or something that is a victim, meaning that the banks got all their money, everything was paid. There's nobody that was harmed in any of these transactions. And so you have to wonder, is this what motivated the Attorney General years later to go after Donald Trump? And it's pretty clear it's all political.
Sean, do you think the anger and contempt Trump showed today was the best tactic for him to take? Do you think antagonizing the judicial officers was deliberate?
So I do think it was deliberate. Look, the judge at the beginning of this case, this is a very unique case. The judge has already decided he is guilty without the trial starting. He took the government's case and said that he believed that they had broken the law. This is just about mitigating the circumstances. So part of the reason that Trump is taking the stand is to express his outrage, to sort of put on a show, if you will. I mean, the judge has already made his verdict known. This is just, we're talking about the edges. And so President Trump taking the stand, being able to explain his side and his outrage is all part of this. He doesn't have to do it. The judge has already made a decision about the outcome. So this is literally President Trump using his opportunity to make sure that people understand why he thinks he's aggrieved.
Well, Sean, the question now is, where are all these civil and criminal cases headed? Do you think Trump will end up in prison, and how will this affect his bid for the White House?
You know, Sharri, I had Alan Dershowitz on my podcast a couple times now, and I've asked him the same question as a legal scholar. And he's versed, he's probably one of the most preeminent American legal scholars. And he thinks that all of these ultimately end up at our Supreme Court, and that each one of them ultimately vindicates Donald Trump. And if you know anything about Alan Dershowitz, he's a liberal. He didn't vote for Trump. He's not a Trump supporter, but he believes that the law in each case is on Trump's side. And I based on his analysis, I agree. I think that he might be found guilty, but I don't think that after appeal that he'll serve any time. And I think all of the cases will be ultimately overturned.